Okay.
Okay.
So we have Emily from Maine today to be with us, sharing her experience about her Montessori experience at home. So can you start telling us a little bit about your family and your child?
Hi, yes. So I'm Emily and I'm a stay-at-home mom. My husband is a band teacher. I'm more of an introverted type A. He's definitely the opposite, happy-go-lucky, spontaneous. So we make a good team. And then I have a daughter, Willow, who is 2.5, and she's very imaginative. And when we see others, she likes to observe and watch before jumping in until she's comfortable. She's very sweet and loves caring for our cat and dog. And especially recently, she's become very silly, squirrely girl for sure. Yeah,
Yes.
keeps me on my toes for sure.
Oh, it's the best age
Mhm.
for
Mhm.
me. Good.
Yeah,
When did you start implementing the Montessori method at home with your daughter, with Willow?
yeah. So I thought about this for a while, and I believe when she was born, I really valued calm spaces and having an open environment, lots of black and white books, very focusing on very simple things like watching the snowfall. She was born on Thanksgiving,
Mhm.
and so it's just when it got started to get cold, and we did live in Montana, so it's
Okay.
snowing all the time,
Mhm.
and just watching like the fish in a fish tank. So right when she was about like 8 months old, we moved from Montana all the way to Maine. And so that was a huge transition. It was a brand
Yes.
new house. It was a surprise project house. So we really got to start from like ground zero to kind of build what we wanted our house to look like.
Mhm.
So we started to like implement more Montessori ideas like a floor bed and a mirror and standing pole
Wow.
and shelves with like toys she can reach and a place where jackets and shoes go. Um, we also started recently, maybe around like 18 months, doing more of a kitchen drawer with utensils, plates, and cups. But at this point, it's really hard to differentiate between what was Montessori and then what we kind of naturally kind of brought into our home.
Mhm.
But one thing that kind of really pops out to me is just how I talk and communicate with Willow. Um, I'm definitely trying to show her how to do something without talking all the
Mm.
time,
Yeah.
just doing one sensory thing at a time. But
Yeah.
yeah,
That's important. Well, really impressive because a lot of people don't believe that Montessori starts at birth.
yeah,
They all
yeah.
think something's when they turn three, they can go to Montessori school. But
hmm
where did you learn that Montessori starts at birth? Like, how did you first
Um,
access this?
yeah, yeah. I think so. I have my early childhood education bachelor's degree,
Mm.
and then I got a master's in school counseling. And
Mm.
so we learned a little bit more about Montessori, but it's really focusing on like birth through technically goes to like age 4, but
Okay.
the focusing is you learn when you're born. Like when you're born, you're already a whole person
Mhm.
and you're developing and learning, and it's important to start right then. So,
Yeah, it's important to know that for parents.
yeah.
Really. But why did you choose Montessori? Like,
Um,
what speaks to you about being Montessori mom?
mhm. So, from going to school and learning about all the different realms of teaching, we talked about like Waldorf and Reggio and
Mm.
Montessori. It was actually hard for me to get on board with
Yeah.
Montessori at first, but I really, after a while, learning more about like Maria, she's such an inspiration as just a woman and a teacher.
Yes.
And then I started to be like, man, I do really love these ideas, and it's such a good goal to have as a parent. Like, this is what I strive for. And as a woman raising a daughter, I just really value instilling ideas of independence and
Yes.
confidence, respecting yourself, having like a huge, strong sense that my ideas and my wants are really important.
Mm.
And my voice and my opinion matter. And with Montessori, it's a lot about listening and following your kids' direction and their interests, and just having some self motivation. No one else should motivate, just like self motivation.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, and Yeah, I really value teaching respect to ourselves and our spaces. And I know Montessori has a lot of like order in our environment. And I'm still learning that as a parent and just as a person, just having a good sense of flow through our home with order. But
Uh-huh.
I've learned to really appreciate that. And when we do have order, the days go by so much better. Um, and Willow is a big part of our family, and I wanted our home to be equally supporting her needs as it does for like my husband and I. We can reach things, we can grab things like all our items are adult size, and I thought, well, it's respecting to her to have things that are her size and she can reach things as well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and a huge thing about like Maria was that she really believed children were working through their play, and I believe that as well. I believe it's like even like their job. It's almost like their career right now. And it should be respected and it should have a separate space in your home. Or even like spaces in your home that's like this is really important.
Mm-hmm.
Um and I oftentimes kind of catch myself like I want to kind of dive in when she's playing and like narrate and like, oh, let's do this. Let's and then instead I'm like, well, I gotta back up and just view her and let her and like bring me into her world of play.
Yeah, I think you
Yeah.
really hit the nails on the head about Montessori, like those self-motivation, independence, respect, and prepare a environment for the children. And
Hmm.
actually taking the Montessori teacher training course really changed my mind about what I see, how I view small young children. And
Yeah.
that's really rewarding. Well, thank you
Yeah.
for sharing that. So what's your biggest success so far? Um,
Um,
I mean,
yeah, it's hard to say like pinpointing
mhm,
what is Montessori and then what is like my daughter. It's kind of
mhm,
hard, but I mean, we've had so much success with like she just has a good sense of putting things away, valuing her spaces. Like even when we're out, we do this amazing art class every week, and everyone's like, "Oh man, that's incredible that she's like putting away her apron," and well, we kind of do that at home, and I mean, I'm so proud of her all the time. I don't like to kind of tell people all the time about our successes because I don't want anyone to feel guilty or bad, but that's just one thing that she's really striving. She loves putting things away and she loves putting her coats away and her boots away. And, she was potty trained really, really early on. And I think it was partly because we created so many good spaces. It was just comfortable and calm in our home all the time. Um, Also just she loves getting out her cups and plates for dinner. It's like this is mine. This is my space.
yes.
And even just like, oh, let's put this in the dirty hamper. Like, she's like, oh, my pants are dirty. She can take them off herself, put them away, and then she can grab new ones. Like, I don't have to tell her any of that, which is kind of strange to see her growing up so quickly
Hmm.
almost. But I think like, I respect her space and her feelings, and she also respects mine. I model boundaries when I'm like physically tired or when I have tough days. I would say like, I'd love to pick you up, but like I need to sit down first. And I think she's kind of seeing that too. And so, if I'm like, oh, let's go get our boots on, and she's like, well, in a little bit, like almost done playing. I'm like, okay. So it's kind of back and forth, and it's a really nice kind of relationship. There's nice days. We have like a lot of nice days. But like I think most success for me is actually just shifting my frame of mind and listening to her and following her lead. Like we had the classic like IKEA kitchen setup, very aesthetically pleasing, and I was so obsessed with that look.
Hmm.
And
Yes.
we had like this water fountain where you press a button and then it goes, but she was afraid of the sound and she was afraid of it for a little bit, but I kind of kept, oh, it's okay, like keep trying. And it wasn't until she brought in her like fake food to her kitchen and she started playing in it, and it's like, well, now what do I do? And honestly, I kind of like, well, she kind of reclaimed the space as a play space. And
Hmm.
so I'm like, okay, well, I guess this is a play kitchen. And then I kind of, well, let's just try it again. Let's try a drawer
Hmm.
in the kitchen. And then that instantly clicked. She
Yes.
instantly was like, this is my space. This is what you guys use. Now this
Hmm.
is my space. And it was so easy. It was an easy transition. It was an
Hmm.
easy, but it wasn't until I actually listened to her being like, well, I had an idea of what this would look like. And she's like, no, I want it to be more like this.
Oh,
And it's kind of interesting, but we also had like a self-care station with like a cute little shelf and a cute mirror, and um it wasn't like going very smoothly for us. And then it wasn't until she was like, "Oh, I want to brush my teeth." We kind of realized she wanted to brush her teeth with us, with our big mirror
Mm-hmm.
in the bathroom
Mm-hmm.
together. And so
Mm-hmm.
it transitioned from like a more stressful, like, okay, we gotta gear up and brush our teeth, to like, this is fun and silly, and it's kind of a happy, I don't know if it's like Montessori quite aligned, but she has a step stool, and so she goes to the mirror, and
Mm-hmm.
then we brush our teeth together.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah.
I used to like, buy all these Montessori toys and
Yeah.
kind of like be like, oh, let's play with these. These are really fun. These are great. And some of them it stuck, and then some of them she wasn't interested in. And it wasn't until I eventually was like, well, like I should listen to what toys you're interested in. And honestly, she's really interested in like little plastic toys. Someone gave her a little Polly Pocket, little
Mm-hmm.
stamping toy.
Mm-hmm.
And I set that up with like paper, and it's like it's not wooden, but it's like it's something that she loves. And honestly, right now, she also really is into toilet paper. Like, we have rolls and rolls, and she'll get them all out and she'll set them all up. Like, sometimes it's a house, sometimes there are seats for her dolls, sometimes it's even like a car wash. And
Oh,
I'm like, man, this is so far away from the aesthetically Montessori that what I had in my mind. So I'm like, well, she's just so imaginative, and I never want to crush that. And so, well, we keep it in the bathroom, but sometimes when we let it out, it's like, okay, yeah, let's take them out, and we can play with them, and then we'll put them back. And it's just an interesting. I think the biggest success is my transition of thinking, for
yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree because before I became a Montessori guide, I basically taught adults, and which is really,
Uh-huh.
really, really different. But taking
Yeah.
the course definitely transformed what I think about children and early childhood education. And it sounds like you're doing an amazing job with your daughter at home. Like sounds like she's really independent and she respects your space. Because Montessori, we talk about freedom within limits, right?
Hmm.
They have freedom to choose to move around, but they have to respect each other's boundaries and be
Hmm.
respectful. So that's the foundation of all their future relationships. You're doing
Yes.
a great job in
Oh,
that
thank you.
area, sounds like.
It's
And
It's a learning process for me.
oh,
I'm
always.
definitely like coming from a very small, tiny, tiny, tiny understanding, basic, definition of Montessori, but I'm still like there's so much to learn. And
Yes.
even for myself as a human, like just creating order in the home and following my interests as a
Yes.
mom. Like
Yeah.
I'm following her interests, and I'm like, well, man, I have interests, maybe I should follow them as well. And I think it's an interesting thing where we're both kind of on this learning journey. I'm
Yes.
kind of guiding her, and
She's
it's
guiding you too.
yes. Yes. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, it's never end. We learn from children every day. Like in the
Hmm.
classroom as teachers, we do the same. And it's Montessori is not only about like materials, right?
Hmm.
Montessori
Yeah.
basically is a way of life.
Yes.
So don't worry
Yeah.
about these toys or what as long as they're interested in, they're using it properly, they're learning from it. I don't think it has to be wooden or
Oh,
don't
that's for sure.
something. No.
Yeah. I
I
believe in that too. Yeah.
yeah, I use my like I have some materials I put in by myself too because I observe my children in the classroom. They're really interested in it and they're learning.
Hmm.
So why not? So don't worry about
Yeah.
that at all. So
Yeah.
sounds really like you have a lot of success in terms of helping your daughter to be more independent and also your way of thinking about like your life and children. But what's your biggest
Mhm.
struggle so far, or frustration, or even
Um,
fear? Like when
yeah, yeah. I think when I think of Montessori, the biggest struggle was just almost the name itself. It's not copyrighted, and I know I saw your website, and it's like you feel the same. It's like doing my undergrad, there was Montessori schools, and I'm like, well, this I guess this isn't even a Montessori school. That's frustrating, and kind of like what you said, like just because something's wooden doesn't necessarily make it Montessori. Like there's lots of beautiful toys, there's lots of amazing toys, but it is kind of frustrating that like there's lots of products that prey on the shaming and guilting of parents. Like, you need to do this to be a good parent. You need to do this to do Montessori. And I was really sucked into the whole like Pinteresty photos, and they're so beautiful and so like, oh, I'd love that. And I would love these kinds of toys, but I kind of lost heart on what it really means.
Yeah.
And it's
There's
definitely, yeah,
too
yeah.
much too much information out there. Everyone can
Hmm.
say, "Oh, this is Montessori. That's not Montessori." It
Yeah.
just tons of information out there. That's why I want to open my own practice. So I know I'm
Mhm.
Montessori. I also
Yeah,
want to offer parents home coaching, so they know that they have a trusted source of information and
for
also
sure.
to their family.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. It
what?
would be yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, it would be so amazing if there were classes for like all, even like public school teachers. Like, my husband's a public school teacher. Sometimes I give him little like snippets of little information about like, oh, you should try this. I wish that there was just classes taught in like public schools or like libraries free, or just like, hospitals have like birth and parenting classes. I wish that they would throw in parenting for like Montessori as well. It's
Yes.
definitely kind of transformed, I feel like, into this almost like status symbol a little bit. Um, like, truthfully, I feel like even though I strongly believe in Montessori and it's like so essential, I never really talk about it with very many people because I don't want to come across as a certain kind
Oh,
of,
yeah.
yeah. Like, I'm very strict, I'm rigid, or like
Mhm.
I don't know, but I wish that it would kind of change a bit, shift.
Mhm.
But
Yeah,
yeah.
it's a lot of misunderstanding about like what
Hmm.
Montessori is. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's for sure. So what advice would you give parents who want to start Montessori at home or who are already applying Montessori at home from your
I would
experience?
Yeah, I would say just like go easy on yourself. Like, don't get sucked into the parent guilt that you need like absolutely everything or a perfect home or even like a well-behaved child like that's just perfectly and orderly, like, because that's not what how kids act all the time. I don't know. It's just, and it's not about the Pinterest pictures. Like, start with the philosophy. Start
Yes.
with, what do you want your child to learn, and like why. Why is that important to your specific beliefs, and what's like the end all goal? Like,
Hmm.
they're in middle school, when they're in high school, even when they're an adult, like, what do you want them to learn?
Hmm.
And what values do you want them to have within themselves? And like, provide access to your home. Like, start with like stools and yes spaces, and respecting your child's interests, and also just like accommodate spaces to fit your child's wants. I know I've heard some different parents about like kids that are exceptional or kids that they need some more help with different kinds of grooming, or there's just different accommodations, and then just go easy on yourself for that.
Yes.
I think that,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes, that's great advice.
yeah,
Actually, that's what I've been telling my parents of my children in the classroom too. Like
yeah, yeah.
sometimes they're too hard on themselves. Oh, I have
Oh,
to
yeah.
do Montessori. This is
Like,
not Montessori.
yeah, I think you should feel excited. Like, I think for a long time I was feeling really overwhelmed and stressed, and I couldn't keep up. And it's like, well, this should actually be exciting. And it could be more like, yeah, I'm on my own journey too in this, and acknowledging that as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially we need to follow the child, not
Yes.
what we think is the best for the children.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the key actually of the Montessori. I also, like you said, it would be great to have some classes for parents
Hmm.
to learn first like why and foundation. That's why I also offer online, like free online parent workshops every month.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah.
So hopefully, because in the classroom I can only help 14, 12 children. But if I
Yeah.
do more with parents, I can help actually more families
Yeah.
in the world.
I bet that
And
that
like
would take off. Yeah.
yeah, and what you're doing now is great. Spend
Yeah.
some time to share your wisdom, right? Your failure, your success, and I'm sure the parents and families will be really inspired
Oh, yeah. Well, it's definitely a
by your
journey for
story.
sure.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Emily, for your
Well,
time.
thank you.
And hopefully you will still continue to on this journey. And if you have any questions, hopefully I can help you too
Well,
along
thank
the
you again.
process. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Thank you.
it's been amazing talking with you.
Thank you. It is
Mm.
amazing talking to you too.